Today on our 2011 Mazda CX-9, we're going to be taking a look at and showing you how to install the Curt Custom Fit Class 3 Trailer Hitch Receiver, part number 13575. So here's what our hitch looks like installed. It is going to sit slightly below the bumper, and we are going to see some of the cross tube right underneath. Now it is a Class 3 hitch, so it's going to give us that 2-inch by 2-inch receiver tube opening, and it has that reinforced collar giving it added strength and a nice finished look. It's going to utilize a standard 5/8 pin and clip, which are not included, but you can pick some up on our website using part number PC3. Now as far as the safety chain loops go, it's going to be a rolled steel stock style. It's welded to the bottom of the receiver tube, and as you can see, we're not going to have too much trouble getting most size hooks on or off. Our hitch is going to feature a 400-pound tongue weight along with a 4,000-pound gross trailer weight rating. Now I just want to mention you always want to double check with your vehicle's owner's manual to make sure your Mazda can handle that amount of weight. I have a few measurements I'd like to give you that will help you when deciding on new accessories for your hitch, such as a ball mount, bike rack, or even a cargo carrier. From the center of the hitch pin hole to the outermost edge of the bumper, it's going to be 4.5 inches. Now from the ground to the inside top edge of the receiver tube opening, it's going to be 14.5 inches. Now that we've gone over some of the features and benefits, let's show you how we get it installed. To begin our installation, I already went ahead and temporarily removed our spare tire so we can have a little bit more room to work with. Now before we begin to put our hitch in place, I want to show you where we're going to be using our hardware. Now we're going to have several holes in our frame. We're going to have 3 large holes, as well as 2 smaller holes here, and those are going to be the weld nuts that we're going to be using. I'm going to take a little bit of penetrating oil, and I'm going to spray it inside each one of my holes. Then I'm going to come back with a nylon brush, and I'm going to brush out any debris or rust that may be inside there. Now if you need one of these brushes, you can pick one up on our website. And we're going to repeat this for all the weld nuts, including the other side of the frame as well. We're going to have 2 kind of bolts included in our kit. The larger of the 2 are going to be M12 bolts, and they're going to be going into the large weld nuts in our frame. Now I'm just going to take the bolts and run them in hand tight just to make sure that the threads are clean. I'm not going to have to worry about them binding up or cross-threading. Now for the smaller hole, we're going to be using our M8 bolts that are included in our kit, and I'm going to do the same thing, running it in, making sure I'm not going to have any debris that's stuck inside the frame or any threads that are dirty. And we'll repeat that for all the remaining weld nuts in our frame. Now before we put our hitch in place, I'd like to go over the combination of hardware. We know that our M12 bolts are going to be going into the large weld nuts in our frame. But we're going to want to take our 1/2-inch conical tooth washers, and we're going to want to make sure that the teeth are facing the hitch, and the hitch is going to come onto the inside of our frame here. Our bolts are going to go through our hitch into the frame. Now for our M8 bolts, we know that they're going to be going into the smaller weld nuts, and we're going to have a 3/8 conical tooth washer, and again, you want to make sure that the teeth are facing towards the hitch. Now with an extra set of hands, we're going to put our hitch in place. And on each side, I'm going to put 1 bolt in, just enough to support my hitch, so I can get the rest of my hardware in place. For my M8 bolts, I'm going to come back using a 14mm socket and snug them up. And we'll repeat that for the other one as well. For my M12 bolts, I'm going to be using a 19mm socket to snug them all up. And we'll repeat that for all the remaining bolts. I'm going to come back and torque my M8 bolts to the specified amount in the instructions. And we'll repeat that for the other one as well. And for my M12 bolts, again I'll be using a 19mm socket. I'm going to torque those to the specified amount in the instructions as well. And we'll repeat that for all the remaining bolts. And that'll finish up our look at the Curt Custom Fit Class 3 Trailer Hitch Receiver, part number 13575 on our 2011 Mazda CX.
Thanks for watching, and click the link in our description below to shop, learn more, or visit us at etrailer.com. And leave us a comment if you have any questions.